That was Tucker Carlson on the Iran war, a conflict he believes will be the defining issue of Donald Trump's second term. Next, I wanted to ask him about the wider conflict in the Middle East and his outspoken position on the war in Gaza. Carlson has made it clear he believes genocide is being committed in Gaza. That's a view held by a United Nations Commission and several European nations. Israel and the United States, however, reject the claim. The issue has divided opinion here in the United States, but it is significant for such a prominent conservative voice to take such a strong stance. I was interested to know if he believes the US bears responsibility for what's happening in Gaza, and that's where I began the next part of our conversation. You've raised the war in Gaza a number of times throughout this interview, and you're very clear in your position on Gaza that it's unequivocally genocide.
Yeah.
You've also talked about the fact that the United States has provided a backstop for Israel for a lot of these conflicts and wars. So what is the United States' responsibility when it came to the war in Gaza?
Profound. It's profound. The last administration, this administration, both of them allowed this, paid for it, ran cover for it. Israel's been criticized throughout Europe, throughout the world, really, for its behavior, fairly. And the United States has attacked any country in any international body, including the United Nations, who stands up and says, well, what is this? This is genocide. And we attack them. No, we've made this possible. The United States made this possible. And that's one of the reasons that the idea that like criticizing Israel's behavior is anti-Semitism is like insane. I'm not playing along with it. That position creates anti-Semitism, which I oppose. But it's also like, the truth is, and I just said, I'll say it again, this is largely the fault, big picture, of the US government. The US government has paid for this and allowed it, encouraged it for generations. And we should not be surprised that the end result is genocide. We shouldn't be surprised. Like, this has been coming for a long time. Israel has completely changed. I feel sorry for Israel, but the Israel that I first visited decades ago bears no resemblance to modern Israel.
Is the United States complicit?
Of course, we paid for it. We made excuses for it. We made it possible, and there are weapons. Obviously, of course we're complicit. That's one of the reasons I'm upset by it. That's my country. These are my tax dollars. This is my reputation. This is the moral authority of the nation that my ancestors built. So yes, I feel very implicated in this and enraged by it, and not primarily enraged at the Israelis, who I think are delusional for a bunch of different reasons. I don't think that's an Israeli-specific phenomenon. We felt a little bit of that after 9/11, when people bought the lies about there were many lies about 9/11, but the net result was to convince Americans that they were under siege from global Islam, that there were a billion people trying to kill them. I felt this way myself. And many times I said on television, the problem is Islam, the problem is Muslims. Like, they all want to kill us. They're all crazy. They're all in this lunatic suicide cult created by Muhammad in the 7th century. And I believed that. I was hysterical. I believed that. Now, that's not true. Nothing about that is true. But I believed it. So it's a little harder for me to judge Israelis when they're like, every Arab, Christian or Muslim, it doesn't matter. Arabs are by definition committed to the extermination of Jews, and we must kill them before they kill us. Like, they believe that. I think people are capable, I know because I have felt it myself, are capable of believing things like that, but they're deranged. And when you do believe something like that, what you need is a clear thinking adult to correct you, just as your children need it when they go crazy, which they do. And your job as the parents to be like, no, that's actually not real. Settle down. There are universal standards that apply to everybody. Some people are bad, some people are good. That's true of all people, including you. So settle down. I've had this talk with my own children, I'm sure you have too, and we should have that talk with Israel, but we haven't. Because of blackmail and threats and weakness, there are a lot of reasons why Israel has been able to control the United States for decades, but it almost doesn't matter what they are. It's ending. And I hope that we can restore, I hope that the people responsible for the genocide in the US and Israel are punished. They will be, I'm confident of that. After that, I hope that we can have a normal relationship with Israel. An allied relationship with Israel, a happy, normal, healthy relationship with Israel, not a master-slave relationship with Israel. That doesn't work.
This is all very bleak.
It's not bleak, it's good. It's good. It's good. Look, crimes will be punished in this life or the next. But the one thing we know is that justice exists. It's a physical, it's a natural reality that we have no control over. When you do something, all is revealed in the end, period. And so the people responsible for killing innocents will be punished for that, as they should be.
You've spoken about justice and punishment and those who have either been complicit or funded the situation, the war in Gaza. Does that include, seeing Joe Biden punished, Donald Trump punished?
Of course. And, punishment, there's
no
hope.
In what way?
Well, there'd be no formal punishment for the leaders of anything in the United States because our leaders are exempt from punishment, formally. I mean, you mentioned the Afghan withdrawal. The only person punished for that debacle was Stu Scheller, who was a Marine colonel who complained about it, and they put him in jail for complaining about it. But the people who planned it and executed it and resulted in the deaths of a dozen Americans and God knows how many Afghans, they were rewarded for it. So, our system is broken in the most basic sense. People who tell the truth are punished. People who lie and kill are rewarded. That's a structural problem that I pray will change. But formal punishment is not the only punishment. I mean, first of all, this is not the end. Human life is not the end, of course. Our souls are eternal. It's just a fact, okay? And we do a lot to deny that. That's not true. Well, it is true. And so there is a reckoning for every person. And we all sort of know that intuitively. But there are social sanctions. Innocent people should not be killed. It's that simple. You can make the case that, people who do something wrong should be killed, okay. But justice requires you to spare the innocent. You can never kill innocent people. That is never justified for any reason, ever. Let's just start there. And that used to be a commonly understood principle. That's the undergirding principle of our entire justice system, which we inherited, thank God, from Great Britain. That it is the worst thing you can do is punish the innocent. Now, punishing the innocent is just a kind of common tool in our tool bag of foreign policy and diplomacy. We openly, this president openly threatened to blow up civilian infrastructure and kill millions of people who had nothing to do with the war. Well, that's obviously a war crime, but it's more profoundly, it's a moral crime. And it will always be. At every time, in every country, that will never change. So, of course, people, the spell will break, and people look around and be like, I can't believe that happened.